Hi everyone, happy full moon in Scorpio. So this video I'll be sharing doing a brief forecast, so oracle forecast using the Astrosoul Oracle and the Soul Purpose Alignment Oracle. Now the first card that came up for this full moon, so full moon in Scorpio, full moons are usually a time of endings, completion, and revelation. Something that was started previously in the previous weeks is coming to an end, and with that you will have a revelation. But what is it that you need to do to have that completion, that finale, that sense that something has completed a cycle and it is now time to move forward. And after the full moon we deal with that transition state in those energies, in the revelation, in the unveiling, and just soaking in that. So the first card was Clean and Cleanse, and this card, Clean and Cleanse, is very, very appropriate for this time, and because this time is one of cleaning up, decluttering, whether it be a physical body and the ability to go deep and really excavate something buried that you may not have been able to go so deep before to see this. For instance, if you're surrounded by a lot of clutter, now is a time that you might be able to see so deeply that you can see what it is you need to clean up and clear away. So that is a blessing of this time, and you may feel a surge of this cleaning up vibration around, and that will help you just pass away what you don't need and allow freshness to come in its place, so that that when you clean up something, there automatically is new energy that comes in to fill it up. So that's one thing. That's the first one, Clean and Cleanse. So decluttering, you now have that ability here with these energies to go really deep and see clearly. Scorpio has that fine discerning sense like Virgo, but being able to go really deep with emotion and emotional will. And for you, this decluttering might involve something that had an emotional tint around it, that because of those emotions around it, you weren't able to go so deep or clear that away. So now under this full moon in Scorpio, you're able to actually go in really deep in all this clutter, in all this confusion, in all this noise around you. And with that gift of the Scorpio moon to clearly see what it is that needs to be released, because Scorpio's a master in dealing with a lot of chaotic emotions, and giving you that ability, extra ability, that charge to really pick apart all the different confusions and get clarity in your emotions. So that's the first thing. Now, so that was Clean and Cleanse for this full moon, clearing up your space, especially things that had a heavy emotional imprint on it that was preventing you from releasing that from your space and clearing up, and to just bringing in the new in its place. Now with that, there's this card, loving kindness, and it says forgiveness. So in order, it's a higher level card, a higher chakra card, but it deals still with the emotions. So in this cleaning up process, in order to really release what you have excavated and what you know now needs to be released, you need to apply forgiveness and open your heart to really see the big picture. And seeing the big picture helps you with forgiveness a lot better. So when you climb up to that place in your upper chakras and able to see the big picture of things, then you are better able to release the emotions. Now, quite fitting, this lunar eclipse card comes up from the Astro Soul Oracle, and this card deals with like an ending, but it deals with bringing up a pattern that you're not going to change. So this means that's a really strong full moon energy, coupled with this releasing vibe. You're now going to really get into that, like really deep into a bigger pattern that has been sitting around a long time, and it's now time to make that transition. So there's an ending here. There's an ending of an old way of doing things that was blocking a flow, divine feminine flow from you. So 3 cards in going back, recall the clean and cleanse, and this may involve clearing out your space, clearing out physical space, clearing out the things with heavy emotional charge around you, and filling that space up with what you would like. Applying forgiveness in the process because you're dealing with really strong emotions, and then knowing that this is a big turning point and you are breaking a habit, you're breaking a way that you operated in the past that kept you stuck, that kept you not in flow and not in your divine higher flow as much as you could be. Now there's some more to this. So first there was a releasing at the full moon, cleaning and clearing, getting into those things with a heavy charge. But further to that feeling of emotions being really involved here, this full moon, is the need here to be wary of what you feel, because you may be very sensitive at this time to this full moon, which goes very deep, and as a result you may be picking up, absorbing the energies around you, and also dealing with so much stuff coming up on the surface. So this is where where your heart emotions come into play. And now Chiron comes up from the Astro Soul Oracle, and this stands for together. This and this combine, and they represent this touching in. Because you're going so deep, you're able to go so deep in this full moon. So it's such a powerfully healing one because of the intensity of the emotion that you can tap into, and because of that you can release clear so much. Because of that you're going to be feeling quite a bit, and you might feel things rise up to the surface relating to the old patterns, relating to past wounds, trauma that you have had, because now is the time to really it could be a time for you to really clear that and move forward so that you have greater flow. And I'll show you the next step after this, because the next step really brings everything together. But this is the in between stage. This is like the, you know, after you clear out the stuff, you, the clearing out helps you get to really focus on what it is you need to work on now, what emotion is coming up for you right now that is going to help you tap into, you know, something to transform and switch to you know, the alchemical switch that happens. And in that process you're able to tap into greater flow when you know, you transform, and allow that emotion to take its course, release, and bring in something fresh. In the process you may encounter some deeper buried wounds, some traumas from the past, and this means that you might actually feel those things really intensely. So if you were to recollect things from the past, you may feel it so intensely now because of the energies out there now. You may really feel like if some trauma happened in the past, if something you're reflecting on, you might actually really feel that. And because you can feel that, that means you can actually tap into really powerful healing, because the more you can feel is the more you are able to have that channel in which you go through to the other side, and you have a healing on the other side. And that's because of feeling is a part of healing, being able to really to be in that space once again, to have mastery in that process. And in so doing, you might have to walk back a path that might not, you know, even if it's recollecting it, it might not be so fun, or you know, it might bring back those heavy emotions. And you know, emotions, you're going to be very sensitive at this time, this full moon. But if you use it the right way, this is what can happen. The result, I'll say upside down, but the result is moving ahead, conscious growth, you know, moving ahead so that you are able to connect with your future goals more. You're able to actually have more space to just charge ahead. Oftentimes what happens is that our own emotions from the past, and the traumas, and all the ways that our body or our mind, our emotions are locked into the past, they keep us back from living in the present and for embracing the opportunities now, because a part of us is trapped in the past and is not able to you know, meet the present, meet the opportunities, see the opportunities, because we're stuck. A part of us is stuck in a repeating pattern. So when you are able to go through this and transform, heal in the process, catalyze a healing process because of these powerful energies, then you're able to access this growth on the other side. So that's the blessing of the Scorpio full moon. You would like to know that also this is involved. That means that you're going to be tapping into a greater level of your joy, because things have been released, you are now able to tap into more of your joy, because you're no longer stuck, and you have called back a part of yourself to now embrace the present moment. And the Scorpio moon will actually support you in the process of releasing, of clearing up your space. If you have some clutter around and you need to clear it up, but it's been there for a while, and you know, when things are there for a while, it's often, or things are around us, a space for a while, we get so accustomed to it that we don't don't do we think we can cope with this or manage with it, and so it becomes a little harder to clear stuff that is accumulated after a while. If you think of things that are lying around, um you haven't touched it, and you think, oh, okay, that's okay, that's not doing me anything, I can just leave it there, and you just leave it there in a pile, and you never never come back to it. Actually, that happened to me. And actually, on the night of the the night of the highest energy, before the full moon, before that day, that night, I woke up and I cleared the stuff that I hadn't cleared in so long. It was because I was able to tap into this energy of getting into things that had an emotional charge involved in it, because of the Scorpio moon, and support around tapping into those things. Even a piece of paper can have a charge attached, connecting you, because if this paper is associated with, say, something that happened to you traumatically, like somebody hurt involved, you had an accident, and this paper represents something from that. It collects that energy, that the connection between you and this paper gets really, really tense, and 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 even something like an object you can have that emotional connection with. And somebody else may look at that and may never have that connection. It's because you have a charge, you have a charge to an emotional charge to the experience that happened before. Now is a great time to tap into things that have happened and clear it up, so that you can get more energy in you and have more space around you to actually entertain the opportunities all around. So that's a really such a beautiful blessing at this time, to be able to go into the darkness, go deep down. Scorpio is like the symbol of that transformation, of being able to have that deeper healing experience, in which you go deep into your darkness and are able to come out and bring light out of that, because you're transformed, because you're able to go so deep now. Such a good time for that as well. Just in general, this time is such a powerful, cathartic time, in which you can release so much and tap into more a higher level of your path, because more of you is present to meet it. Much of the reason why we don't really align, is we don't really align with our purpose or path, is because our energy is not tuned in, is not present, balance in our body to actually meet that. So we have to do that part before we're able to be a match, to be resonant with all the good things in store for us, all the blessings in store for us, the highest potential that we can reach. So that was your Astro Soul / Soul Purpose alignment, your oracle forecast for the full moon in Scorpio. And I hope you have a great one. Really use it wisely. And if you need a personalized reading to get deeper into what specifically you need to work with at this time, to help you release what it is you need to release, and how you can do that better, and how you can really tap into the fullness of this energy, you can check out my readings on the sashniala.com website, and I'll be happy to help you tap into the most you can be, the most energized, and living the fullest potential you can, bringing in the greatest joy. And remember, the end of this here is joy, house of play, tapping into more of your creative power and your joy, getting back into the spirit of